Hello and welcome to this new playlist on SAP and Power Platform here on the SAP on Azure YouTube channel. Before we take a closer look at the available connectors from Power Platform to SAP, let's make sure to have everything in place to get the actual integration going. We will need an SAP system, but obviously also the Power Platform and potentially also Outlook, Excel, and Teams and other applications. So let's get started and take a look. The first thing, the obvious point, is obviously Microsoft 365. The best and easiest way to get started is the Microsoft 365 Developer Program. This will actually give you access to not only the Power Platform, but also to Outlook, Excel, Word, Power Platform, and a lot of other tools that we can use to actually integrate Power Automate flows into Microsoft 365. Since you will only get access to a Power Platform trial instance, it might also be helpful to sign up to a dedicated Power Apps developer plan as well. So just follow the steps outlined here to sign up for the Power Apps developer plan. You can just sign up down here. Here you go. So who can sign up? You can just use the account that you're using from your Microsoft 365 and then use this to sign up to the Power Apps developer plan. So with this, we're actually good to go to create Power Apps. You could automate some incoming emails. You could automate some steps between Excel and other scenarios. But obviously here in this playlist, we want to focus on the SAP system. So we have to access from the Power Platform an SAP system. And there are multiple systems available. But let's start with the easiest one, the one that we also used for the first video, where we quickly created a Power App that accessed some services, some OData services from an SAP system. And the easiest way to do this is the SAP Developer System ES5. This system will give us access to OData services like the popular GW sample service. So here you can see here this GW sample basic service, which gives us access to products, to sales orders, to contact information, to business partners. So there's a lot of information that is readily available. I mean, it is a shared system, so it is reset from time to time, but it actually gives you access to a really nice demo scenario. There are even user interfaces, so the SAP Fiori user interfaces that you can use to take a closer look at some of the data. So for example, instead of calling the OData service that retrieves the product information, you can also just open up the SAP Fiori user interface. This Fiori interface provides you with the same information as from the OData service, but now here in a little much more beautiful way. It's rendered. Now, in order to get access, the easiest way is to follow the steps outlined here on developers.sap.com, the tutorial to create an account on the SAP Gateway demo system. Actually, there's a registration place, so the Gateway registration system, just log in there. On the way, when you do this, you actually will create a so-called P user, obviously with username and a password. And this will not only give you access to the SAP Gateway system, but it will also be the foundation for a lot of other services that we are going to use from the SAP side. So when you have this P user, or potentially also a so-called SAP Universal ID user, that is actually the user ID that will give us access, as mentioned, to a lot of other SAP systems. So with this user, we can actually also use the SAP Cloud Appliance Library. The SAP Cloud Appliance Library is a library of SAP systems that you can use and quickly deploy to your Azure subscription, for example. So the easiest way, or the system that I use most of the time, it's fairly cheap because it's not too big. It's available also on our trial basis, so you can easily run it for months and for months, and it would run exclusively for you basically in your Azure subscription. Is this SAP NetWeaver AS ABAP 7.51 SP02 on ASE? That's not the newest system, but again, It allows you to create your very own OData services. It allows you to do some modifications without interfering with other users. So that's a really nice system to get started. If you want to do more, there's other systems as well. So you can see that there's a long library of SAP systems that you can quickly deploy to your Azure instance. Another one, for example, is this SAP S/4HANA 2022 fully activated appliance. This is a really rich SAP system with all the different modules and scenarios already pre-configured. So that can be also a fantastic choice, but obviously it's a little bigger, it's a little more resource hungry, so to say. So I would just stick, once we get there, to start with the SAP NetWeaver 74151 SP02 on ASE. Well, these are some of the backend systems that we can very easily leverage to do some modifications or to connect to a simple OData service. But what is also really important for SAP systems is actually the SAP API Business Hub. So actually, let me quickly open this one. So api.sap.com, the SAP API Business Hub provides you an overview of all the available APIs that SAP exposes. So for example, APIs for S/4HANA Cloud, for S/4HANA, for Ariba, SuccessFactors, Concur. Some of these systems we will take a closer look on later on. But here, for example, if you're looking at central invoice management or something like that, you can take a look at the supplier invoice APIs. And then this is also a really nice functionality of the API Business Hub. You can also test these APIs in a sandbox environment. So again, with your P user that you created to get access to the ES5 system, you can also use this to get access to the SAP API Business Hub, and then potentially also integrate these services in your Power Platform. Another important thing is the SAP Business Technology Platform. So for the Business Technology Platform, there's also a way to get access to the so-called free tier service plans, which is really helpful to quickly get started, to test something. There's no need to pay anything. It's really a free tier service. So the easiest way is to just follow here this tutorial that guides you to sign up here to the free account on the B2B trial. And then at some point in time, you will be able to register and sign up. So in my case, obviously, I'll select the BTP region here on Azure in Singapore. So I'll just click on Create Account. And again, all of these steps are documented here in this tutorial. But once that is done, you have access to an SAP BTP instance, so the Business Technology Platform from SAP, where we'll use the SAP Cloud Connector, where we'll take a look at the SAP API management, the integration services to connect again to your SAP system. The last thing that I quickly want to mention is the SAP S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition. So for the SAP S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition, there's also a 14-day trial available. So maybe sometimes in the future, we'll also sign up to this trial account, and then we'll talk about how to connect to the APIs from this SAP S/4HANA Cloud system, which are all of them are really documented here also on the API Business Hub, and we'll make these APIs available in the Power Platform and build a beautiful Power App on top of that. Okay, that's all that we wanted to cover in this quick video. Just get started. Make sure to sign up to all these resources so that in the subsequent videos we can actually connect to these systems and really build Power Apps or low-code applications that connect from the Microsoft world back to the SAP world. Thank you very much for watching.